Alright guys, we're going to do some ground fighting with the pistols a little bit. We're going to cover some retention and also some counterattack type scenarios. I am set up right now where I'm carrying in the 3 o'clock. Red Jr. here is carrying in the appendix, and basically we're just going to kind of cover a couple different scenarios. So starting off basically in the guard type position, again like I've talked about before, I'm not going to be detached. I don't want to be sitting here like this with my arms down or anything like this. I want to be able to get in and control through underhooks or even overhooks if I need to, but from here I can start to control him however it is I'm going to. But one of the tendencies is for us to get target fixated on our weapons, so that once I end up in this type of situation, I go to guard, and then from here I try and access my tools, and now it becomes a fight and a struggle over my weapon. I introduced the weapon into the scenario before I had control of the scenario. So what I want to do is, I'm in this situation, I want to go ahead and get control of him. So I'll come in, I'll come under the underhooks, I'll grab and lock that shoulder down. From here, I always want to introduce, when I introduce my weapon into the fight, I want to make sure that I rotate in such a manner that I'm not closing my weapon off. So since I'm carrying on my right side, if I were to go this way and then hip out, now I'm laying on my weapon. That presents a problem. So I'm going to come in, I've got my guard closed, this comes in, I keep him down and close and tight. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use my hamstring, the bottom side of my leg, to push off as I kick my hip to the outside, and then I can re-grab. From here, I'm just going to transfer my arms, fold this in, and then I can lock that arm now as I introduce my weapon. Okay? Now, from a retention standpoint, I also want to make sure that he doesn't get to my weapon. So if he goes for my weapon, he feels it somewhere in the struggle, and I end up in this type of situation where he's going for my weapon. What I want to do is I want to brace that hand up against the weapon. Remember, it doesn't matter whether I'm vertical or whether I'm horizontal. I still want to anchor that hand so that my pistol does not come out of the holster. So I'm going to anchor that hand. From here, this is going to come over. It's going to go over the back side of the arm and through the inside. I don't know if you can see right up in here. I want it to come through here, and then I'm just going to lock this in. Once I lock this in, I can go ahead and hip out the same exact way. I keep that arm locked. Now I can introduce the pistol into the fight and go from there. If for some reason, let's say we end up in a situation and he's able to access his pistol somewhere in the struggle. So he accesses his pistol, and now that pistol is introduced into the fight. Once again, the same principle applies. Anchor that pistol. If I can anchor it in the holster, fine. But if I can't, I still want to get control of it. So I'm going to control it here. This time I'm going to attack on that side. So I'll come over, I'm going to grab through. All I'm going to do is push off with the hamstring as I lift my opposite leg. So this leg here is going to go down onto the hamstring as this one comes up, and I begin to turn my hips. So I'm going to come here, and what this does is this keeps that muzzle oriented away from me. From here, I can rotate my hand and just cup that wrist, and I can disarm if I need to. Go ahead and grab.
Yeah.
So from here, I'm grabbing. Notice I'm not using my thumbs to grip. All right, I'll get into that maybe in another video, but you don't want to use your thumbs. I want to use just a C grip, both on my hand and on his. So I'm going to grab that C grip. I'm going to get out, making sure that that muzzle stays away from me, keeping his arm bent. I can either lift my wrist to block that arm, or I can turn and grab his wrist. However you want to do it, it's fine. But now I can come in, and no matter how hard he grabs, go ahead and grab.
Yeah.
No matter how hard he grabs, if I just fold it to the inside, I bend his wrist. Once I bend his wrist, his grip comes off. Now I can access the pistol and go to work on him. So, a couple of different variations on the Kimura type position. These same principles can apply to stand up as well from a retention type scenario where I anchor his grip, I reach through, and I drop into a Kimura. I can take him to the ground, I can take him to a throw, but either way, because I'm controlling that shoulder in a bent arm, I have the advantage. That gives me the leverage, I have control. So you guys think about that, train hard.